Cybercrime is rising, with attacks up 14% last year. Breaches at companies such as US retailer Target and software maker Adobe show how they can suffer at the hands of hackers. Advanced attacks from state-sponsored actors such as the famous Stuxnet attack may make the headlines, but companies and individuals are still more likely to be targeted by criminal gangs. A new report from Juniper Networks explains that underground markets are fueling this rise in online crime. These hackers' bazaars allow criminals without advanced computing skills to buy the vulnerabilities to access corporate networks.
It's clearly a multi-billion-dollar market. So when you go investigate these things, you stumble across various forums that are selling credit cards or selling bots in a network that you can use to attack other people. All of these various things are reaching out to tens of thousands of people. For example, a few years ago, I was walking through a couple websites just to do some research, and I had stumbled across a vulnerability that was pretty serious, and it was across multiple pages. And, as a security researcher, I feel obligated to tell the people who operate the website exactly what vulnerability they have. But had I been on the other side of the table where I really wanted the money, I know, for example, that I could have purchased their customer list through the black market. So if I had gone to the black market, purchased their customer list, and then sent a phishing email to all of the customers that they have, exploiting that vulnerability that I found on their website, I could have raked in somewhere on the order of $40,000 to $100,000 in a single afternoon.
In a mock environment to make sure we don't break the law, Carl Adams showed me some of the tools that can cut the cost and time of committing online crime. First, he shows me how he can disguise his computer by using a proxy which he got for free on a website.
So in order to actually hide our address so that it looks like it comes from somewhere else, we want to use something called an anonymous proxy. So when the destination traces it back to see who it came from, they only see this proxy server, not my computer. So the next thing we want to do is actually figure out what countries the U.S. does not have an extradition treaty with. As you can see, China is one of the countries in this list. So our next step is to go find an anonymous proxy out of China. So basically I've tricked this website into believing that I'm coming from China, even though I'm not. And this is important because now I can actually go attack anybody I want, and if the law enforcement does in fact see that attack, say from the US, and they try to look to see who committed the attack, they're going to think that the person that did it came from China.
Then he displayed how a tool called a DIR buster can uncover files hidden from view on websites, potentially finding key and as yet unreleased information. Here he finds a page on a wedding planner site which lists customer details.
And so now I know the website I want to attack, so basically I want to discover all of the files that are hidden on this specific domain. And what you'll see it doing now is it's actually trying a whole bunch of different directory names from a huge dictionary of possible options. And so we've got things like blog, about, events, details, scripts. So none of that really looks interesting, but there is this last item right here, which is underneath the folder scripts called customers.js. And that seems weird, it probably shouldn't be there, so we're going to go ahead and view what that file is. And when I open it up, I can actually see this is a data file that contains the financial records of all the customers for this website. So this would be a serious breach if this website actually was vulnerable. We planted this file here just for the sake of the demo.
And finally, he showed me how using a vulnerability scanner can cut the amount of work a hacker does from hours down to minutes. He finds a vulnerability in the search box on this fake e-commerce website.
The spot of the website where it actually pointed out the vulnerability is in this search dialog right here. So if they have stored credit card information or transactions or addresses, I can go in and scrape all of that information and I can sell this on the black market. So you can see every single user that's on the website is getting listed out as a product. And again, this is just because I submitted a malicious search query. I mean, I'm not actually changing the way the website works, I'm just exploiting a flaw in the website to make it do different things.
As underground cybercrime markets mature, it is the cybersecurity companies that are racing to catch up.
Without the support of law enforcement, without them actively being able to stop these attackers, companies really have to take it into their own hands. So there's baseline, you really need to make sure you have a strong defense. You need to have firewalls and various different perimeter defenses out there to prevent the attackers from coming in. But it's also important to protect, to make yourself not the easiest target in the neighborhood. You can make it so that when they launch an attack that would ordinarily take an hour, it could take up to 10 or 12 hours. And what you're doing is really kind of reducing the ROI.
Investment is flooding into these companies which offer protections for corporate networks and devices, but for now, experts fear that they are losing the battle. Hannah Kuchler, Financial Times, San Francisco.